Welcome back to Painful Mini Reviews. Today we'll look at one of the great villains of the Inner Sphere, Katherine Steiner-Davion and her legendary battle mech, Ice Queen. Lover or hater, there is no doubt Katherine left a controversial mark on the history of the Inner Sphere. Katherine was born into two of the great houses of the Inner Sphere, House Steiner and House Davion. As the daughter of Archon Melissa Steiner and Prince Hans Davion, Katherine grew up surrounded by political machinations and learned to play the game from an early age. Katherine is perhaps best known for assassinating her own mother, which was one of the key triggers that tore apart the Federated Commonwealth and started the Civil War. She fought bitterly with each of her siblings and eventually claimed the throne of the Lyran Alliance for herself. But Katherine was not satisfied. She always looked for more. Faced with an invasion by Clan Jade Falcon, Katherine forged an alliance with Clan Wolf and their Khan, Vlad Ward. It was among the wolves that Katherine became a warrior. Prior to that, she had studied and excelled at politics more than warfighting. Katherine piloted a Warhawk C during her trial of position, where her surprise Alpha Strike defeated an opposing victor and earned her the rank of Mech Warrior. She named her mech Ice Queen and took full advantage of its precision weaponry and targeting computer to help cover her inexperience. But Katherine's rise to power came with a price. Her ruthless tactics alienated allies and enemies alike. Some saw her as a tyrant, willing to sacrifice anything for her own gain. Others viewed her as a brilliant strategist, unafraid to make the hard decisions that others couldn't. Regardless of how history remembers her, Katherine Steiner-Davion and her Ice Queen remain symbols of the ruthless pursuit of power and the cold, unyielding nature of warfare in the 31st century. Now let's take a look at the miniature that I painted. I'm pretty happy with this miniature overall. It's not the most complicated paint scheme. It's basically brown and white with a couple different shades of brown included. But I did try to really match the correct color scheme against the reference art. I think I did a pretty good job with that, and overall I'm quite happy with the mech. A couple of the challenges I encountered here are the logos, the Clan Wolf insignia. There's one on each shoulder. I don't have decals for those particular units, so I decided to try my hand at hand painting the logos. I think I did a decent job. From tabletop distance, they're quite convincing, and I think they look good. But when you zoom in, you can see that they are not very detailed, and I think leave a lot of room for improvement. Overall, I'm happy with them. I did jewel the cockpit, which I think turned out quite well. It's a simple blue jeweling. As I've mentioned in other videos, if you are intimidated by jeweling cockpits, please don't be. It's not as difficult as it may seem, and it really can take your mech up to another level. I did also jewel the lenses in each of the 4 lasers. Those I think are not quite as good, but I'm pretty happy with them overall. The white on the arms, I'm quite happy with. As many miniature painters know, white can be a difficult color to paint, but I think this one turned out okay. I used an oil wash to really darken all of the recesses in the armor panels all over the mech, and I think that helps a lot. Again, as a tip for beginning or intermediate painters, try an oil wash. I use the Tamiya oil wash, and I really am impressed with it. Nuln oil or other typical miniature painting wash can do okay, but the oil wash will really give you that dark look that I think sells the effect. Overall, I'm pretty happy with this mech. It's one of the more recent ones that I painted. I think I finished it in probably June of 2024. It's not the most complicated or impressive paint scheme, but I think I executed it well. Now, we'll have to wait to see what my wife thinks, because I'm sure she'll find plenty of areas for improvement. Thanks. All right, and now we're back with my wife, and she's going to be reviewing my miniature of Katherine Steiner-Davion's Ice Queen. It's a Warhawk or a Masakari.
Want this part in it?
So is that part of the critique?
Yeah, already.
Okay. All right. So did I get it good enough now?
Yeah, but you want the Warhawk so that people know what it is.
All right. Yeah, everyone. I think people know now.
Okay.
Thanks. Got it. It might not keep it up there forever.
No, I want you to put it down
Okay.
on the back.
All right.
It's too shiny. Gotta do something
All right.
better. That's a little bit better. Okay. Well, this is the one that you painted.
Yep.
Versus the one in the book.
Mm-hmm.
So, just for fun, I guess we can start at the bottom today. I like this basing much better than before. There's it's almost a poop rock, but it's a little bit better than a poop rock because it's not directly in line here underneath the legs. So that's much better. I think that on these two, you did okay with the dark gray and the toes, but over here, this is really lacking. It's hard to see all the way in there, but if you were here in real life, you can trust me, it's not that great. And you're missing a lot of these like very specific white detailing things all across. Well, I guess here is the only place you did this. So I'm not sure why you did it only on the toes, but the very front toe, but then just decided to ignore all of these other areas.
So I didn't do the weathering on it. I considered it, but chose not to. So that's a fair and accurate observation.
I think it would have really taken it up a notch. It looks a little flat without it. This 3 is obviously actually so is the 1 now that we're talking about it. These are very different fonts. Do you not have this font?
I selected the closest font I could find.
Well, could have been better. Maybe you need more decals.
I have a lot of decals, but not, I guess there's always more.
So you're missing this. This isn't just weathering. This is like actually seems to be part of the design, this white V, which I guess would be in this area.
It is hard to tell where it is. I think it's in the leg though. I think you're right.
But it's completely gone from here.
No, I don't have it.
It's not there at all. Now we're starting to get into is this even the same mech? Because
okay, let's talk about it.
Well, where are these things on your mech? Because they're not here.
Yeah.
And presumably, I mean, there's those dark gray areas here. You don't really, you know what you do have it, you just painted it brown. So you have that, which is up here higher, but you don't have this at all.
Maybe it's further up on that top of that leg. I think that's where it is.
This?
I think the angles of the leg might be different in the miniature.
Well, if that's the case, then you still did that wrong.
Yeah, I think that's right.
And you missed all this weathering as well. It's a little bit here. I give you half credit.
Okay.
Okay, so moving up. Well, okay, wait, going back. This is all wrong. These, under this grate area, which is sort of the lighter brown, are these 2 blobs here, which are definitely darker brown here. And so it should be in your color scheme, which isn't the same at all. It's just...
You think it's not the same at all? I mean, I think it's...
No, this is way redder than anything you have.
Okay. I thought it was pretty close.
No. I don't think so.
Right.
But anyways, getting back on topic, these parts should be this darkest brown, which appears to be actually, yeah, I mean, this should be this. These 2 should be the same color, right?
Yeah, I think I missed that.
Well, okay. So now we'll go back to the arms later. We'll just keep going with the body. But where is this gun thing or whatever, missile or whatever?
Yeah, that's not in the art.
Okay. So you have these vents. Is that what they are?
Looks like it.
Okay. But then in this area, Where is this red thing on yours?
I don't think it exists on that model.
Well, you have a circle thing right here.
Um,
I mean, that's a circle.
yeah. And you're saying that in the art, there's like a tiny bit of red on the outside of that circle?
It's on this side. It's on this side and this side. It looks like a little red slash.
Yeah, I don't have that.
Okay.
It's quite small, but I don't have it.
Okay. You don't. It's true. Then these vents look okay. So that's
I
good for
think that's
you.
the best so far. They look okay.
But then you're missing these hazard stripes
Totally,
completely.
totally am.
Now, the cockpit on yours does look very cool. I really like the gradient.
Oh, thank you.
However, it looks nothing like this.
Well, that's true. The art shows more sort of framework around the cockpit glass that's not on the miniature.
By more, you mean any at all?
Yeah. I hope you don't deduct my score because the miniature might not be perfect.
But you could have just painted this on.
Yeah, I guess I could have done that.
You also didn't do these little yellow dots. There's no
Yeah,
yellow
I don't know
here.
what those are. They look like, I don't know, like the pilot's name or something could be painted on the mech. I don't have that.
Whatever they look like they're not on here.
It's true.
Okay, then this you really screwed up too because these should have also been dark brown.
Yeah, I think that's right.
And you don't have these three
I
white
don't
dots.
have those three. Those I should have painted there.
That's pretty bad, miss. Now, where is this thing? Because this is all one thing. So why do you have two things here?
So this is another example where the artwork does not match the weapon loadout of the mech in the lore. And if you look up here where it says 2 large pulse lasers, 2 extended range PPCs, and 1 flamer, there's no missiles listed for this battle mech. The standard Warhawk does include missiles. So the artwork is the standard Warhawk with the missiles, but I painted the version without the missiles because that's more accurate to the one Katherine Steiner-Davion actually piloted. So it does not match the art, but I think this is actually more accurate to the lore.
I know, but you want me to grade it against this art. So therefore, it's kind of a minus on you.
Oh, okay. Ouch. All right.
So now we can go to the arms. And I think we talked about this. You did these things freehand.
These are both freehanded insignias, yeah.
Okay. So it's like the idea of these decals. It's kind of like you made little red check marks inside stars is what it looks like to me. But I get the idea of it, although it would have been better, of course, if you had decals.
But for hand-painted insignias, what do you think? Just on the insignias alone, what would you give me on the insignias from 1 to 10?
Well, I would definitely minus you on this gray one because the star goes onto this exterior, like the very tip of the star goes onto this exterior panel of this mech, and that is definitely fully enclosed here. I think it could be a 6.
A 6 on the insignias. Okay, I'll take that.
But moving down on both arms, you definitely missed these red triangles on both arms. There's nothing here. And also, frankly, this is another example of just doesn't even look the same. Like they have all this open space on both of these and you've got nothing.
Yeah.
So why?
I need to take Anthony Scroggins in this because he's the one that would have to answer for that.
Is he the designer of this?
He's the lead artist when it comes to redesigning the miniatures, yes.
So he doesn't do this, he does these things? He creates
I don't know if he does any of the artwork for the books, but he's the one that does the designs for the miniatures.
Well, okay. Then the lasers, you did the right colors, so that's good. But they don't look as jewelly as the last ones that we did.
Yeah.
Um, and this one kind of looks like it leaked out a little bit into the white. It doesn't look as pristine as it could.
All right.
But I like them. Well, I have this problem with a lot of these things in general that they're not as inside these barrels as they are in the artwork. And I don't like that you can never make it look the same.
That's the great challenge, is to try to make it look the same. But yeah, I did my best. These were difficult to jewel. I will tell you that.
It's like you used a different technique, but not the jeweling technique that makes them shiny.
I tried.
Oh,
I tried.
oh, I thought you were going to tell me a different technique.
No. No, I tried.
So overall, I do think the paint colors are definitely different. This has a far deeper, like redder mahogany tone than the paint color I think you chose. And I really don't like that you don't have these missiles, in part because I think that probably would have been a good opportunity to talk about painting there too. And all this weathering, of course, is missing from this top area as well.
Okay. Are there things that you thought I did well?
Mm, well, I, I do like this cockpit, but it doesn't look like this. So that's a little confusing. I like it on its own, but if you're asking me to compare it, I wouldn't compare it. It's apples and oranges here.
All right, so on a scale of 1 to 10, with the artwork being a 10, what would you give this one?
It's like a 5.5.
5.5. All right. Geez, I have to try to do better. I quite like this one, but okay. Finally, for which actress do you think we would have play Katherine Steiner-Davion?
Well, I really struggled with this one because she just kind of generically looks like a TV mom to me, but I couldn't really remember where she might have been. So finally, I decided that she looks like Sutton Foster from the TV show Younger, where she is, in fact, a TV mom.
All right. I also struggled a little bit. I had to look at some different pictures before I finally settled on Ellen Pompeo. Is that how you pronounce her name? From Grey's Anatomy. I also considered Sarah Michelle Gellar for a little bit.
Hmm.
Maybe people in the comments can tell us who they think, if they have a better choice. Well, all right, 5.5. Not my best, but I think it's not my worst either.
Definitely not your worst.
All right, thanks. Any final comments?
No, I look forward to discussing more.
Yeah, me too. Thanks.